Whoa, welcome to That's Good Broncos podcast. Better than ever, worse than never. Suck it, eat it, love it, dream it. Hi, Will.
How's it going?
Good. It is June. We're going to talk about the Broncos. There's no news. There's going to be a lot of people out there who tell you that there is stuff happening. And I just want to say they're fucking liars. They're lying right to your face.
Good. It's June. There shouldn't be things happening anymore.
No.
Right?
Yes. Anything that happens right now is either an injury or an arrest. And I don't want to hear about either of those things. Possible free agent signings. That's the one thing that could happen that would possibly be positive. And Sean Paytoin has said this team is not done looking at players and adding pieces. So we'll see. We'll see who and if they add anyone.
Has a coach ever been like, no, we're done?
Yeah.
We're done adding players. I think we're good.
Team is perfect.
Yeah.
The team I have never actually seen play live in person as the head coach is perfect.
My work here is done.
I think that might have been what Nathaniel Hackett thought last year.
Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe he should have shuffled the deck a little bit. Yeah. Maybe he should have invested in a couple more positions.
Should have.
The offensive line, etc.
Have we podcasted since the Nuggets won the championship, won the chip, won it all, won the O'Brien, won the trophy?
I don't think we have. I don't think we have. Yeah.
We can talk a little bit about that.
Anything you want to get off your chest about that?
What do you mean?
Nothing. I mean, is there anything notable you want to say about the Nuggets? Well, you got the Nuggets, and then Wyndham Clark from Denver won the U.S. Open.
Yes.
On Sunday. It's all coming up Colorado.
Colorado's time to thrive in every
The Rockies
sport.
Have lost 7 in a row.
Fuck yeah, Rockies.
It's all good here.
Tap the Rockies because they are tapped out.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, we'll get into all. I want to talk about the Nuggets a little bit. I know the big piece right now is Bruce Brown. I think he's not doing his player contract. I don't know how the NBA contracts work.
Yeah, he's not opting in.
He's not opting in. It sounds so nice, so polite. I choose not to opt in.
I shall opt out.
Yeah, maybe they can still. Yeah, maybe they can make it work with him. I don't know. We'll talk about that. We're going to talk about the Broncos. We found a little bit to discuss, but before we do, bench warmer brew. We dropped the chai tea Higgins. It's my first tea.
It's beautiful.
It's good. It took me a while to find a chai that I really liked. I like spice. This got black tea, ginger, cardamom.
Makes sense.
I said, give me the cardamom in this tea, or I will not have it. Will.
If you don't have cardamom, I'm not drinking it.
Yeah. Cinnamon, star anise, clove, black pepper, fenugreek, organic, certified organic by ProCert Organic System. So it's organic.
It fits with the Bengals colors, and also, of course, T. Higgins.
No, it's just nothing related to the Bengals.
Oh,
okay?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, don't ever say that again. Chai T. Higgins. We dropped, it's at benchwarmerbrew.com. First tea I've done. They said, you got to get a tea in here, Brandon, because people like tea. I said, well, fuck, I better do it. And we did it. So it's there.
You should talk about also your meeting up with Tom and
yes,
John.
Friday.
You should promote that.
Yeah, Friday, Tom Grassi and myself will be doing a hangout at the Breckenridge Brewery, the Littleton location. That's their main huge one. Really cool spot around 7 p.m. I think we're going to get there. But yeah, they've got a space reserved for us to hang out. So if you're in the area, you want to stop by, you want to check out a cool brewery, talk to Tom, talk to me, help Tom on his journey of visiting all 30 NFL stadiums in 30 days while he's raising money for the St. Jude's Children's Hospital.
Yes.
They've already done over $250,000 raised. So come hang out with us. I want it to be the biggest and best fan event Tom experiences this whole trip. The Broncos have been in contact with Tom. So our Twitter pestering of the president of the Denver Broncos worked.
Damani Leach, yeah.
Yep. I don't know if they've locked down a time or made anything official yet, but I did get a DM from him and then put him in contact with Tom.
Nice.
And they reached out to Tom. So hopefully they work something out. I don't know. Nothing is solid there. So we're going to go to the Broncos Stadium earlier in the day and hopefully make something happen. But come shoot the shit with us.
That sounds like a great time.
Yeah. No, it should be. And that brewery is really cool and their beer is very good. So
I was thinking because they'll be out I was talking to Johnny. They said they'll be out in Santa Clara. Or I guess I don't know if they're going to be in Santa Clara or San Francisco next Monday.
Okay.
If it's Santa Clara, I might go out there.
Should try.
Yeah.
Do it.
Why not? Why the hell not?
They won't be in Oakland.
They won't be in Oakland.
There are no more sports teams there.
Almost. Yeah, pretty damn close. I'll say that.
That sucks, dude.
It does suck. Yeah. How could you go from Warriors, Raiders, A's to like A's hanging on by a thread? It's not a bad sports town at all. It's a very good sports town.
Yeah, it's weird.
I don't get it. Like, it's very much just it's civic malpractice. Yeah. I think. Very sad. As much as I, despise the Raiders and the Warriors, I do like the A's. But I was never on board with the Raiders leaving. It makes me ill to think about. It's just a bummer. They're good fans.
Yeah, it's a passionate sports town. Like, you want a team to be there. It's not like the Chargers where, and don't get me wrong, there are passionate Chargers fans, but it's just like San Diego, I feel like just has too much cool shit to do, and it's people don't commit. The weather's like almost always great there, and
they're just like kind of cool with having the Padres, I think.
Yeah, and Petco Park's like a really cool baseball stadium to go to. So, like them leaving, a part of that makes sense, but the exodus from Oakland just like it doesn't. So.
Yeah, and A's fans are so they're so passionate and devoted, and you can see that when they do their reverse boycotts. They just don't get any support from their ownership, basically. I was going to say their front office, but their front office doesn't get support from the ownership. It's the whole basis of Moneyball, really.
Yeah. That leads me to something I did want to talk about because I was going to have Ryan Koenigsberg on, and then I couldn't do it Friday, and then I just texted him this morning, and he's busy today, so I will get him on to talk about this a little bit because he tweeted, something about like feeling sorry for the bandwagon Nuggets fans. Not experiencing like the same level of joy like diehard fans feel with their team winning. And so I quote tweeted him, not super seriously, but of course, people are going to take it serious. And I said that I disagree. And as a bandwagon fan, I am also experiencing Nirvana on the bandwagon. And I just wanted to talk to him about it because, we both watched the Nuggets from very different perspectives. And there are a ton of diehard Nuggets fans in Denver.
Yeah.
But personally, I think bandwagon fans are really, really good for sports, and you need them. And I'm not necessarily talking about like bandwagon fans who pay absolutely no attention to a team and then suddenly start following it when they're good.
Yeah.
I'm talking about like kind of your casual sports fan, passive sports fan who gets interested in the team when they are good. And teams that struggle, like the A's, it's a good example of they don't have fans showing up when they're bad, right? They have that hardcore core base. The Rockies are, I think, experiencing it for the first time, or at least were, where they get so bad. Even the people who just want to go and have the experience at Coors Field and don't care about, they can't even muster up the energy to go.
Yeah.
But for teams to build fan bases, real fan bases, they have to be good and they have to win. Like, there's always going to be a group of loyal, hardcore, passionate fans, and that's what like you and I are about the Broncos. But let's just face it, like if you're not putting an entertaining and good product out there for people, you're not reaching your full potential of your audience. And so you need those casual people to get interested when the team is good, and when the team gets really good, you do want to pull in fans that might not be there.
Absolutely. No, I mean, that's a great point. I think I saw that firsthand this year here in Sacramento.
Yeah,
where it's like, okay, do you expect when your team's been out of the playoffs for a decade and a half and they're winning 26 games a year, do you expect people to sit down and watch 82 NBA games of a bad product? Like, not really. Like, fortunately, if you build, a good stadium or good arena with a ton of amenities, you can get people to hang out. But like, when a team is good, what it does to a city, especially like kind of a mid-market city, and what it does to the surrounding area around the venue and downtown and everything, it's just good for all parties involved. And, it's good for civic pride and community and just really like obviously the economy. But it's such an incredible experience that I don't care like if people were not tuning in before they're good. It's like, let's just get together and enjoy this. And I think to me, like a bandwagon fan is not someone who's kind of tuned out and then picks it up when they're good, because that's normal. Like, not everybody covers sports for a living. Not everybody has the time to invest in a bad or a mediocre team. The only problem I would say is teams that jump, or fans that jump from one bandwagon to another. Like, they can go to hell. Those guys are the people I would have a problem with. The Lakers to Warriors pipeline in the early 2010s. That was a big one.
Yeah. It's the guy who's got a Yankees hat on, a Lakers jersey on, and a Dallas Cowboy bumper sticker on his car.
Yeah, and has like Duke basketball shorts.
Yeah.
Roots for Tiger Woods. No, I mean, and
actually, like, you should be happy for those people, because maybe they're buying your team's merch, and maybe they're paying for a ticket or two to go to the game, and they're not a good fan. They're kind of what we sometimes hate about sports.
Yeah.
But it's like when Peyton Manning came to the Broncos, there were Peyton Manning fans who watched the Broncos, right?
Yes. Same with Tebow.
And the Denver was really good. So it's this mix of two things. And I feel like they were at their most popular, possibly ever, when Peyton Manning was here, and they were really good. And that's what you want. And you just can't. The other thing is, like, you can't build genuine fans if your team is always mediocre or shitty.
Of course not. Of course not.
Nobody wants to be a part of a losing organization. There are those that hang on. Like, I think of Browns fans and I think of Lions fans who have probably the two most tortured fan bases, at least in the NFL. But like, if you're honest about it, like, the reason I am as big of a Broncos fan as I am, it's because when I was like 12 years old, they won the Super Bowl. I went from being like a kid who watched a lot of Broncos games to, it was like 96 when they lost to the Jags. That was really rough, but I was watching them because they were really good. And then they win the Super Bowl, and it puts this idea in you as a fan that they can win the Super Bowl any year because you saw it happen. Like, you believe it.
Yes.
And then they did it again. So they have to be good to build those hardcore and diehard fans, I believe, to build them at a mass scale. Because as you get older, as your life becomes busier, it becomes harder and harder for you to justify spending for football. Just like, is it? And I can't, like, this is my job. So like, I just qualify, but like, to spend 3.5 hours on a Sunday, every Sunday, when you've got a kid or kids, your wife, family, like, you want to be hanging out and doing shit with them.
And you might have a college team that you spend 4 hours on Saturday watching. So you got to make choices.
Exactly. Like, and if it's bad, like, you can't expect people to try and detach from their life to only feel more pain. You know what I mean? It's like, my job sucks, and now my football team's going to hurt me too.
Yeah, get in line for paddling every Sunday.
Or basketball. Yeah. So it's, I get what Ryan was saying. Like, of course, people who have been with the Nuggets through the highs and the lows, the championship's going to mean more to them.
Yes. And if it means that much to you, like, I don't think it should affect you, like how other people are taking it in.
Yeah. And if you hop on late, but you invest in it, like, I felt very happy when the Nuggets won. When they swept the Lakers, I was on a high. I was on that sports high. It's the only kind of high you can get. It's a specific high you get when your team wins.
It's not just your team. It's the city you live in. It's the city you're from, the state you're from, I guess. It's just it's a collective joy, I think.
Yeah.
And we can say, like, in fairness to Ryan,
it wasn't a knock on Ryan. Like,
no,
I was
of course
giving
not.
him shit on Twitter, and then he was like, "Yeah, I'll definitely come on the pod." And I just wanted to talk to him about it to get his perspective, because neither you nor I are that invested in the Nuggets. You are with the Kings, so you understand. But
I would say
the thing is, like, I was giving him shit, assuming everybody knows I'm going to give him shit. Most people do, but then there's always 3 or 4 people in there who get way too worked up and way too serious about it. But anyway, what are you gonna say?
I was gonna say we'll call the diehard fans experience sports nirvana, and the guys who are a tier under, it's like sports Pearl Jam, sports Soundgarden, sports Temple Pilots.
Jeremy spoken, your team has won.
That was a good song.
That song was about your team winning, right?
It's about doing a presentation in front of the class about how your team won.
Yeah. God, that song, probably the prophecy, if foretold, is way too dark.
Yeah.
Way too dark.
Agree. Yeah. I would love to see them. They came to Sacramento. I had tickets, and they got COVID like the day of.
Yeah, I've never been a Pearl Jam guy.
I was a bigger one. I think they hit a little harder when you're like 15, 16.
Yeah, I was also very anti-Nirvana just because they were so popular.
That's fair. Yeah.
Which is like, it's like the same. That's the exact same thing about like getting upset with the bandwagon fans, right? You don't like it because it's becoming popular.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, absolutely.
It was your thing, and now there's all these other people latching on, and I get why that's kind of annoying, but
yes,
you got to embrace it, because ultimately it's better for your team and your organization.
It's good for the bottom line, and I think if you enjoy it, just enjoy it, and that other people aren't experiencing the the same bliss that you are, but they're having a good time too.
Yeah. It comes down to, like, it's like one of those things. It's like they weren't as big a fan as I was.
Yeah, I saw Nirvana back in '89.
Yeah, it's the same thing with like you talk about a movie or a show, like a TV show. But
yes.
yeah, I've watched every episode since it aired.
I watched Deadwood when it came out.
Yeah, like who gives a shit?
Yeah, it's all streaming anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, that'd be good to have him on.
Fuck Ryan Koenigsberg's what my point was.
Please don't clip that out of context.
Please do clip it and tweet it to him. I'm kidding. Everybody knows Ryan's probably Denver sports media as a whole. I might have to put him as number 2 behind Vic Lombardi.
Those guys, their podcast is always really good.
Yeah.
They're fucking good at what they do. And they do it every day, which is pretty astounding, especially this time of year.
Yeah.
Good for them.
That's why it's probably so nice to actually be talking about the Nuggets or the Avalanche when they're making their playoff runs.
Yeah,
actually been covering them the whole time. Anyway, Denver Broncos. They talk about them every day with no problem. Will and I haven't talked about them for 2 weeks, and we're going to struggle.
We're drowning over here.
What do we got today, Will?
All right. I got a little something. Ben Albright, our friend Ben Albright, I don't know if it was a speculation or like a report.
No, I think he was just like riffing.
Was he riffing? Okay. Brett riffing. He was saying the Broncos could or should trade Cortland Sutton and a 3rd-round pick for Bills wide receiver Stefon Diggs.
Yeah, I think he was basically saying, like, if Diggs actually became available for a trade, yes, the Broncos should consider it, and this is maybe what they should give up.
Yeah, so I don't think it's going to happen. But
no, I just did a video yesterday about Stefon Diggs, and apparently what he's upset about is that he made room in his contract. He reworked it for the Bills, and he suggested they go get DeAndre Hopkins, and they haven't. So that was a report from some guy, a sports guy. I can't remember his name right now, but he's
the sports guy.
Yeah, he talked about it on his show. I used the clip in there.
Yeah,
but that's what's been like. That's why Diggs has apparently been a little bit unhappy with the Bills. He's not trying to get traded. They're not trying to trade him. All of these things always get blown out of proportion. But I agree with Albright. If Stefon Diggs was available and you could get him, you go after Diggs because he is top 5 wide receiver in the league every season. Although, let's just put it this way. I think Diggs and Jerry Jeudy have a very similar skill set. And Diggs and Cortland Sutton, different skill set. Jerry Jeudy could be Stefon Diggs. I think his hands got to be a little better. Obviously, he needs to have the same amount of targets Diggs gets, but they're both ankle breakers. Just incredible route runners. And
I think Judy's more explosive, but I think Diggs is more reliable.
Yeah,
for sure. And depends what you'd rather have out of a wide receiver. And generally, you want the guy who's reliable, and he's not so volatile. Whereas like Judy, you just don't know what you're gonna get on any given day. Obviously, he's better than Cortland Sutton. There's no arguing that.
Yeah, but ever since Sutton's torn his ACL, we haven't really seen the same guy, and maybe we see that same Cortland Sutton this year.
Do you think Diggs is like a Sean Payton guy though, in terms of his, I don't know, his history? Like he wanted out of Minnesota, he got out of Minnesota. History's maybe repeating itself in Buffalo. Like two not bad situations at all. Like Minnesota is a great place to play wide receiver, as is Buffalo. It hasn't been, but with Josh Allen, it certainly is now.
No, I think that's a good question. I think if Sean Payton can handle Michael Thomas, then yes, he is.
I think they're different guys, though. I think Michael Thomas isn't like he's not. I don't want to say Diggs is like anti-team, but Thomas is like he's kind of annoying sometimes, but he's not. I see him as like a team first guy.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think this current situation with Stefon Diggs is like what went on in Minnesota. I think Diggs is unhappy because he wants to win. And I think like if you're a guy who you make money in your contract and you don't feel like the team's really done anything since then, I think that's about winning and being tired of losing in the playoffs. Do I think like it's reasonable? Not necessarily.
I just don't. I don't know. I don't get it. Like, how do you know? He's probably spoken to DeAndre Hopkins, but you can't just expect to free up money and be like, okay, here's DeAndre Hopkins. This is a done deal. So many different things.
No, I'm not saying it's realistic.
By another team.
But we don't know what those conversations really were, right? We don't know what the Bills told him. We don't know what Diggs told the Bills. What I do know is after Sean McDermott said it was concerning that he wasn't there, the next day McDermott came back to the press conference and was really trying to take the heat off of Diggs. Is that because he's just trying to be a good head coach? Or is that because he was told like, hey, you need to make sure Stefon looks okay and is happy? Like, I don't know. But Josh Allen stuck up for Diggs. Von Miller had his back. I think his teammates and players respect him. I think he's passionate and he delivers when he's on the field. I think you can, and he's a wide receiver. They're always a little fucking crazy.
Yeah,
like,
it's the famous
wide
tweet.
Receiver. We need to do it like this would not be a good episode, but it's like which really great wide receivers also remained humble.
Yeah, I mean, like
Andre Johnson, Calvin Johnson.
And even then you're like, okay, Andre Johnson, very humble, and he was, but also he beat the shit out of Cortland Finnegan on the field. Calvin Johnson, very humble, also retired at the peak of his career because he was tired of the Lion shit. Marvin Harrison, the most humble, probably might have killed a guy.
They're
Jerry
all
Rice.
a little crazy, man.
It might just be Jerry. I don't know. It might be Jerry Rice.
Might be.
I don't think he was humble though. Really, he was just quiet.
So much of their success is predicated on the quarterback, and I think that's why they get frustrated. Right? It's because the ball has to get to them.
Yes,
like they can be doing their job very well. They can be getting open every play, but if the ball does not get to them, it's like, and it's different than a running back because they know when they're getting the ball handed off to them, and then it's up to them after that.
Like their opposition on the field, cornerback, very individualistic position for the most part. Like it's one-on-one, either like the ball's thrown to you or not. It's not up to the control of anyone on your team. You just have to go out and do your job. Either you win or you lose.
And sometimes it's hard to tell whether like a wide receiver is really good or it's the quarterback. And last year we got two really good examples of two insanely talented wide receivers in Devontae Adams and Tyreek Hill leaving their very good quarterbacks and then still just dominating. Yeah.
That's a really good point. I would say with Diggs though, you want to win. It's like you do win every season. Like you're there for the Vikings. They made the playoffs. Yeah. I don't know, at least half the time he was a Viking, maybe more. You're on the Bills. They've made the postseason every single season. You're not going to win the Super Bowl every year, the Bills lost last year because their secondary depth was depleted. And they ran into a really good team in the Bengals. Like, you're just like, stick it out. Like, where are you going to go that's better than Buffalo right now?
Yeah.
Like,
well, that's the thing. Like, I don't think he's trying to be traded. I think it's just
then go to practice.
What?
Then go to practice if you're not. I don't know.
Like, Sean McDermott, they told him to leave. He got into an argument with the coaches, and McDermott told Diggs to leave, and so he did. And then he was at practice the next day. I don't think it's about being traded. I think they just got into a bad argument. It was like, let's just fucking regroup tomorrow. I think it's been blown out of proportion. And since he was unhappy, media sites are like, ooh, he wants to be traded. I can make an article about. And honestly, if the Bills were going to trade him, they're not going to trade him to any possible contending team in the AFC. If they're going to trade him, he's going to the NFC or he's going to a dog shit team in the AFC, like the Texans or whoever they're not threatened by. And if the Bills traded him to the Broncos, it would be a big sign.
Yeah,
in my opinion, where Buffalo's like, this team is not good. We don't even care if Sean Payton's there. They are no threat to us at all. So
I think you might be right.
Yeah. And I'm not saying Diggs is drama free. I'm just saying I think this situation got blown out of proportion. But
I just think you've got like 3 good years with him before, and if you don't win a Super Bowl, things are going to go downhill with him.
Yeah, I mean,
based on
like 27, 28.
I think he's older than that. I mean, I remember his like big coming out game was against Denver in 2015.
Yeah, I remember that too.
He's 29. It's not that old.
Okay.
His game will age pretty well, I think.
Yeah, I was like, oh man, this Teddy Bridgewater and Stefon Diggs is going to be a duo in Minnesota for a long time.
Adrian Peterson, Stefon Diggs, Teddy B. I thought Teddy B was going to be very good, and then he had one of the worst injuries of all time.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
All right. Speaking of Vikings, former Vikings, what do you got? We got Dalvin Cook still out there?
He's out there. It doesn't look like he's coming to Denver, though. According to Michael Kliss, it sounds like his asking price is a little high.
Rightfully so. We talked about that in an episode.
I think that price will go down eventually.
Unfortunately, I agree.
Yeah, it is the market. I think he'd be, as a running back, like you'd probably be better off like every time waiting till training camp, waiting for someone to go down, and then just getting a call. Like, I don't know, like at Dalvin Cook's age, he's not old, but he's 27 as a running back. It's like, okay, I can miss out on training camp, save some tread on my tires, wait until inevitably someone gets hurt.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately that happens every year. And then I can sort of name my price. And hopefully go to a contender. Although I have no idea if that's a priority of his. I would think it is. But it's funny. Like I was watching, because we're doing that Hard Knocks episode. I went back and watched all the Ravens Hard Knocks series from 2001, and just like the scramble mode, because Jamal Lewis he hurt his knee in training camp, and like the scramble mode that teams go into to find a replacement. It's like, yeah, you want to be that guy on the market when something like that happens, I think, rather than like, what good does it do a running back to sign in June? It's not like they're the most plug and play position.
Yeah, that's fair. I think it's probably hard when you're thinking about your financial future for the next year. Like
that's true.
Am I going to be able to make $5, $6, $7 million? Am I going to make $1 million, $2 million? Like those are, I don't know. If the 49ers hadn't, made the big trade for Christian McCaffrey, that would have been an ideal place for him to go. I think Tampa Bay Buccaneers would make sense. Leonard Fournette also still a free agent, but last year was not great for him.
Yeah, you don't know how. I don't know. That offensive line seemed pretty tough just with the injuries up in the middle.
Yeah, that's the thing. That their line should be back to full strength, if not a little better. Their quarterback situation clearly better.
Yep.
And
we can say that with certainty.
Yeah. And maybe the Cowboys too. Like Zeke's gone. You got Pollard, but if you want that guy behind, did they draft a running back? I don't even remember.
Deuce Vaughn.
Oh, that's the little Deuce Vaughn.
The little Deuce Scoop.
I was just thinking that.
Little Deuce Scoop.
The Beach Boys. Malik Davis, Deuce Vaughn. Yeah. Pollard and Dalvin. Anyway, the Broncos, if Javonte Williams is on track to return, they brought in Samaje Perine.
Of course.
I don't think they need Dalvin Cook.
I think they like Tony Jones too, the former Saints running back. He hasn't really touched the ball a whole lot recently, but something tells me he's a Sean Payton guy.
There you go.
Because he was a Sean Payton guy, but also.
And this was the last thing we were going to talk about, right? Is some Sports Illustrated tweeted something about the pressure is on Sean Payton. And
yeah.
I said there's absolutely no pressure on Sean Payton this year. It's all on Russell Wilson. There's probably more pressure on Russell Wilson this season than there was heading into last year.
Because, in a different way.
Different way, but it's like the collective opinion from the NFL world is Sean Payton is a great coach.
Yeah,
he's a great offensive mastermind, top 5 offensive coach in the NFL right now. Therefore, he will fix Russell Wilson. So I didn't read the article, but the headline was like, it's on him. The pressure's on Sean Payton to fix Russell Wilson.
I don't think
I disagree. Like, if Russell Wilson doesn't work with Sean Payton, then people are just going to be like, Russell Wilson's done. Like, there's no fixing him at this point.
No, that's why I saw your tweet and I was like, that's a really good point. Because if Russ is bad, it'll make Nathaniel Hackett look a little bit better too.
Yeah.
It's like we don't have any. Sean Payton made Taysom Hill work. He made Teddy Bridgewater work in New Orleans. Like it's not disputed that he does a really good job with quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Whereas Russ, I don't know if the pressure's higher this year, but it's different because the expectations were higher last year. Obviously didn't deliver. The expectations are lower this year, but it's also very much a make or break season. Like there's not, if he plays like that in year 2, there's not going to be a year 3 as a starter.
Yeah. And
as far as I can tell.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. Like if he's bad this year,
it's going to be Jarrett Stidham by week 9 if he's bad.
Yeah. And he might even be on the roster next year, but he'll be competing for his job type situation.
Yes.
And it's, as we've talked about 100 times on this podcast, it was not all on Russell Wilson.
No,
he did underachieve greatly, but the Broncos' entire situation was bad last year, from coaching to injuries to just some bad luck to fumbling to all that shit.
Getting bullied online.
Yeah, getting bullied.
That was probably the worst part.
I mean, he got bullied this week too for posting his workout video.
Yeah. I don't know.
But maybe don't post your workout videos.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. It's strange because people are like, "Oh, Russ is out of shape. Russ is a little chunky cornball who can't get away from defenders anymore." And then he comes back in great shape, and he's posting workout videos. Like, look at this douchebag.
Well, no,
he can't win.
He was winning everybody's like, look, Russ looks like he's trimmed down. Like he looks slim. He looks like he's ready to go. But then he posted the video and everyone's like, but I don't like the way he got in shape.
Yeah.
I don't like the way he's doing it.
You asshole.
He's holding a football. What a fucking tool.
Yeah, he's sliding back and forth.
Yeah.
On the Chuck Norris machine.
I remember when a man named Hugh Jackman was doing that exact same sliding workout, and it was praised for how celebrities got in shape.
And they put him in a movie.
To be Wolverine.
Oh, I thought he did that for prisoners. So he could be jacked when he beats up Paul Dano.
No.
Oh, that was for Wolverine?
Wolverine.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hugh Jackman. Wolverine.
Hugh jacked man.
Hugh jacked man. But yeah, Russ can't. I mean, Russ should just not post videos.
It seems like he's done a better job at not posting videos.
He needs somebody on his team to tell him what is cool, because they don't know and he doesn't know.
I feel like
if he hired me, I could change his image in the positive direction so easily.
I can't. I don't think I can tell him what's cool. I can tell him what's not cool.
Yeah, exactly. Be like,
and that's all you need.
Yeah.
You can go be like the Tim Duncan of the NFL. Just wear clothes you got from like Sears.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Even when he's minding his own business, like people get on him.
Oh yeah, I could help him though. I'm just offering my services.
And
he needs to lean into it.
Yeah.
Even more. And he needs to start talking shit back.
That would
be
cool.
Time. Big time.
He's just
he needs to start threatening that his Jesus is going to send you to hell if you don't change your attitude.
I think so. No, I think he needs to hit the reply button a little bit on Twitter.
He just needs to start saying "fuck you."
Yeah. Let's ride. Go fuck yourself.
And it needs to be to local Denver media first.
Marilat.
Yeah, maybe. Or I don't know. Even if it was like Mark Schlereth, and just say Mark is a little bit critical. Not even in a bad way or an avert way, but let's just say he's like, that Russell Wilson workout video was a little weird. Russ just needs to go under and just say, suck my dick.
Yeah. I got some chili you can suck on.
Yeah. And that's not a knock on Mark. He just needs to take a big name and then come in, boom.
I want him to come after someone on the big stage, like ESPN, NFL Network.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of who was most critical, but they were kind of all critical.
Kyle Brandt. Just go after
Kyle Brandt. Yeah. Fucking come on, pretty boy. Let's see if those muscles are for real. How
many more Jean-Claude Van Damme shirts are you gonna wear?
Yeah. Oh, cool, man. You like Pearl Jam? Wait. Oh, sick reference, dude. Everybody loves your references. That's so cool that you can mix sports and pop culture. You're the first guy to do that.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Anyway.
Did you see Mark Schlereth's hot take on the Nuggets? Because they had Nick Wright, or Nick Wrong, some would say, on 104.3 The Fan. And someone was like, why are you giving this guy a platform? And he said the Nuggets fans should be thanking Nick Wright.
Yeah. Maybe that's why I was thinking of Mark Schlereth.
Yeah.
A bad take recently. Yeah. That's what it was.
Honestly, that was pretty funny. I don't know if they should be thanking Nick Wright.
No.
But you'd be naive to think players don't look at that stuff.
Yeah.
And it might give them a little extra fuel.
See, I disagree with that. I think it's something that maybe just annoys you or maybe makes you angry, but not while you're actually playing. To me, that stuff never actually translates. It's that might piss me off at home And then I'm like, yeah, I'm ready to go in and practice tomorrow or whatever. But there's no guy who's ever just like dropping back to hit a three and is like, fuck you, Nick Wright.
You don't think Jokic was singing that on the 1 foot threes?
No, but like maybe if a player comes out and says, every time I make a shot, I'm thinking about Stephen A saying this or Skip saying that, then I'll be like, yeah, let's give him a little credit. I can't give Nick Wright credit because
no, of course.
I think he's the epitome of everything that is wrong with sports talking.
Yes.
And more so than Skip Bayless, because I think Nick Wright actually knows what he's talking about, and he's intentionally being a douche more so than Skip Bayless. Like, I think Nick Wright knows way more about basketball than Skip Bayless does, which is why his shitty takes and him just sticking to it because he's playing the heel is even more annoying because it's much more fabricated, and he doesn't have the right personality to me to really lean into that where it's entertaining. It's just like, this guy sucks.
Yeah.
The way he says it, the way he sounds, the way he approaches it, don't like it.
You watch him speak and you're like, oh yeah, this is, like you said, this is a guy who knows what he's talking about, but he doesn't believe what he's saying.
Yes.
That is the genre of sports media personality that I cannot stand.
Yeah.
And you're saying it even though you know you're just saying it to say it.
And he never has fun with it. That's what bothers me. There's never like the wink or the, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't know.
He will like go back and like when the Nuggets won, he gave them credit. And then he kind of stood by his statement a little bit. He's like, well, I wasn't wrong, but I'm going to give them credit. See, I guess I respect that. But it's just such a performance. And I think that happens with like Cowherd at times.
Oh, yeah.
And obviously, I mean, Skip Bayless is that to the extreme. But it's not like it's so transparent, I think, with Skip Bayless that it's hard to get angry. And people get upset at Skip online or just like, dude, you're wasting your time. Like this is what fuels him. This is what he breathes negative replies. That's his oxygen. Whereas like guys who are like kind of dumb sometimes, but actually believe what they're saying. Like I would throw out Bill Simmons is one of those guys where he has some really great takes and really like innovative, like fun arguments. But you know, at all times, he's not saying it just to get attention. Like this is his demented brain came up with this at one point, and he stands by it. Yeah, I mean, we do shit like that too.
Oh yeah,
we don't.
I don't think we ever like try to be one way or another. We're trying to convey what we really think and then make it entertaining.
Yeah, I mean, we might be popular if we might be more popular if we did, but also that I don't think I could reconcile that mentally.
No, I'm proud of what we do in terms of like we present things in a way that I want to.
Yeah, you feel good about it.
I'm not trying to be and that's the thing with Nick. It's always this angle. And it never really changes. And you have to change if you're talking about sports because it changes every fucking year.
It evolves.
Like, if you go back to when Patrick Mahomes first started playing well, and we were just like, he's just chalking up stats with these stupid shovel passes. Like, it was fun.
That was our entire podcast for like 2 years.
Yeah. We're like, we knew he was good.
Yeah.
And I still think his like touchdown stats are probably a little more inflated than older quarterbacks who, and when you're on the 2-yard line, all you're doing is handing it off.
For sure.
And if you're throwing it, it's to the corner of the end zone or whatever. But like, that's a guy who's earned my respect in terms of like how consistent and how good he's been.
Of course.
And now it's just, I'm going to shit on the Chiefs and him in a different way. It's going to be my own misery versus like, is this guy really good? And when like Nick Wright, even through the playoffs, just refused to try and give the Nuggets appropriate credit. And then they won it. and then you're forced to say, okay, yeah, maybe they're kind of good. Like, that's just lame ass.
Yeah, it's like you can't say Mahomes isn't good, or he is kind of a system quarterback. The system's great. It's just like the perfect marriage of the system and the quarterback. But you have to move on. You have to evolve. You have to get more nuanced. You have to be like, he was faking that ankle injury in the playoffs, which is true. You have to deflect and go to his brother.
Yep.
And you also have to like look at that trailer for the Netflix series and be like, this is bullshit. I don't want to watch this. And then you do wallow in your own misery.
They picked the 3 strangest
Yeah.
No, Mahomes is not strange. That makes sense. But
well, he is kind of strange.
Yeah, he's a weird dude, in a way.
Not in a bad way.
Mahomes, Kirk Cousins, and Mariota.
Mariota was a strange choice. I like the idea, like a guy who's kind of like on the fringe of starting. I would have preferred like a young guy, but I don't know. Maybe they couldn't get him.
Yeah, Derek Carr would have been fun last year.
Derek Carr would have been interesting. That would have
not him himself, because he's not interesting, but just the situation he was in. That would have been like a guy like Carr getting benched. Oh, yeah, that would have been good TV. But I'm excited to watch that. We're working on a Hard Knocks episode.
Yep.
That'll be coming out on That's Good Sports Friday, hopefully.
Cool.
And that's it. We're done today, Will.
Yeah, I mean, go to Breckenridge Brewery and check out Brandon, Tom, Johnny, and Jess, right?
Yeah, we'll all be there.
Yeah, the whole crew.
Okay. Good night.
And John Elway plays entire career without an ACL.
Good luck. We're back, baby.